Hi everyone, this is Music Addict here, and I'm bringing you another great coaster video. And this video is my top 13 coasters at Six Flags Great Adventure. Well, they only have 13, so I'll be ranking the 13 that they currently have. Now, they've just announced that they're going to do a Jersey Devil, new for 2020. However, since it's still 2019, I can't really give that a fair ranking without actually riding it, but it looks like it's going to be a really exciting coaster. And before I get started, I just want to let you know if you have not subscribed to my channel already, please do so. I do roller coaster videos. I have a plus size riders series on roller coaster videos as well. And I have some ASMR videos and music videos, which is what I started my channel out with. But yeah, so definitely a lot of good videos on my channel. And Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey is, in my opinion, my favorite Six Flags park. I know Magic Mountain has more roller coasters, but I think the coasters at Great Adventure overall are a little bit more quality. But I feel like this here, it's more as again quality, and then the Magic Mountain has more of the quantity. But don't get me wrong, Magic Mountain is a fantastic park and does have some of my favorite roller coasters there. But I do really like the safari that Great Adventure has because I love animals. So that definitely does influence my ranking of the park. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started here with the video. At my number 13th spot, I have the Roadrunner Railway. And this isn't necessarily a bad coaster per se. It's just the fact that it's a kid coaster. It's not that exciting. However, it does have a purpose at the park, and that is why it is here. I will note, I do believe this coaster does go around 3 times, so it makes it a little bit of a longer ride versus just going around once. But if you are or you do have like a young coaster enthusiast in the making, this would be an excellent first good kiddie coaster to get them on. In my number 12 spot, this is the Harley Quinn Crazy Train, and this is more of a kid coaster. However, it's more a family-oriented kid coaster, as adults could easily ride this one. It used to actually be called the Blackbeard's Lost Treasure Train until through the 2015 season, and they renamed it to the Harley Quinn's Crazy Train, which I think is pretty fitting, given that they do have the DC licensing that they can use and stuff. Um, and this track, it actually does go around twice, to give you a little bit longer ride. And fun fact, this ride after Harley Quinn is actually right next to the Joker, so that's pretty cool. But it's really nothing special. It has a purpose, but it's not really something that would go out of my way to ride. It's a little bit on the rougher side, but it's not terribly rough by any means. But it's just really nothing special. It's more of a good starter coaster, though. And number 11 spot is the Runaway Mine Train, which is a classic Aero mine train. Um, the biggest thing knocking this coaster down is, yes, it is more geared towards families. It's not as thrilling, but the biggest thing is I think it's rough. Um, it's pretty jerky to me, kind of uncomfortable. Um, there's a lot of other better mine trains out here, but this was the first park's first roller coaster, so it definitely has its place in the lineup. However, I will say that this coaster is very scenic. A lot of good scenery, especially when you go over the lake on this ride. But to me, it's just there's other better coasters here, and I think it's rough. Um, a lot of mine trains are, but this one's definitely one of the more rougher mine trains. And my number 10 spot, kind of a controversial pick, and I knew it'd be a controversial pick when I put it here, but I still stand by this decision to put it here. My number 10 coaster would have to be Green Lantern, the stand-up coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure. I did ride this too back when it was Chang at Kentucky Kingdom. Obviously, the layout's the same. The only thing that's different is some of the coloring and the theming and where it's at. The reason I'm ranking this so low is I absolutely hate stand-up coasters. I think they are so uncomfortable. I hate the ride experience. Now, granted, this stand-up coaster probably one of the best, if not the better ones. But I do really like Riddler's Revenge at Magic Mountain too. You can't really convert this to the Floralist, as they already have a Floralist with Bizarro. Um, but that's why this is ranked so low. I don't like stand-up coasters. I think they're very uncomfortable. But granted, this does actually have a really good layout for a stand-up coaster and is a long ride, which I do like. My number 9 spot is the Dark Knight coaster. This is your standard Wild Mouse, however, it is inside and it is themed to Batman the Dark Knight movie. I like indoor Wild Mouse is better. They give it a little bit more of a thrill. There's some pretty good theming with this coaster, but the ride experience, it's still just a Wild Mouse that you could find anywhere. Really, the only thing that holding this up a little bit higher is because it is indoors. Gives you a break from the hot heat. And the theming. Theming is not bad at all on this. My number 8 spot. This is the Joker. And fun fact, the Joker is located right next to the Harley Quinn coaster, so that's pretty cool. But this coaster, built by S&S, is a 4D free spin coaster. You may have seen it at other Six Flags parks because it's a clone. It is a common clone. Granted, it is a cheaper clone and it takes up less space, so it gives the parks another credit without costing too much, without taking up a lot of space. However, it is what it is. I mean, it's a very short ride. You may flip a lot, you may not. And it is found at other Six Flags parks, so it's pretty common. I mean, it's not a bad ride. It's just common, and it's nothing too spectacular. Some coasters are just fun, and that's okay. Skull Mountain in my number 7 spot is one of those coasters. They're just a lot of fun and are very well themed. This coaster is an indoor coaster, and from the outside to the inside, it looks really cool. The building, you have strobe lights, and they have this cool, like, tribal music, sound effects. Sometimes it's more like heavy metal, but really cool sounds. Um, and when it's hot, there on the exterior of Skull Mountain, there's a waterfall which falls from the skull eyes on the exterior. This is a great family coaster with a lower height limit than a lot of coasters. But I really thoroughly enjoy this coaster. It's a lot of fun. It's not like super thrilling like some of the other coasters, but it's a very, very great solid ride that you have to ride. Barely missing my top 5 at the number 6 spot is Batman the Ride, the B&M invert at the park. And yes, you've seen this elsewhere. It is a clone. But however, It is a good clone. If you're going to clone something, you might as well clone something good. Um, However, since it is a clone, got to rank it a little bit lower. It is a very good solid ride. It is more compact, but it's really intense. Um, I'll still ride this anytime, even though I've seen it at other parks, because it is a very good ride. But the only thing's really knocking it down is it is kind of short, and you can find it at like 6 other Six Flags parks. Here are my top five, and honestly, the top five are all superb coasters. You can't really, I mean, I think there is a clear cut number one, not gonna lie. But besides from that, I don't think you can really go wrong with how you order these coasters. But my number five I have is Bizarro. Um, it is a B&M floorless coaster. The very first one actually features 7 inversions, and it does have a twin Scream at Magic Mountain, but this one's like 1,000 times better than Scream. Um, I think it's a decent long length. It's very intense. It is buttery smooth. It is a very enjoyable ride. However, in comparison to the other parks coasters, I think 4 coasters are just better than this in the park, but this is by no means a terrible ride. I love this ride. And I really love the corkscrews, the 0G row. 7 inversions is just amazing. Um, but I don't think this is the best floorless coaster out there. I think it's close. Definitely top three. But I wouldn't say it's the best one. That's why I'm kind of leaving it where it's at. And again, the park does have what I think are 4 better coasters, but this is still a very solid ride. Number 4 spot, I have Superman Ultimate Flight, which is the B&M flying coaster at the park. And again, I think it may be a little controversial where I have it, but I really like flying coasters. I think this one's really smooth. It's a good solid ride. My only real nitpick I'd have to say is that you're flying over grass and track and you can see parking lot. I The scenery and the setting could be a lot better. Um, but I still like the ride experience is what I like a lot about this ride. Just an overall really good ride. But there are 3 coasters I do think is better than this one at Great Adventure. Now we're at the top 3, and we're going to start off the top 3 with Nitro, which is my number 3 pick. It is the B&M Hypercoaster at the park. Oh, we had 3 B&Ms in a row. No, 4 B&Ms in a row. You can't go wrong with a B&M Hyper. You really, for the most part, can't go wrong with a B&M anyways, except stand-ups, but that's a different story. This coaster has consistently been voted one of the best still coasters in the world since it opened, and for good reason. Um, it is smooth. It is intense. It is fast. It's 80 miles per hour. Um, it's actually kind of got some trees beside it, so the setting's not bad. You can see some water there at the turnaround. Um, it's one of my favorite hyper coasters out there. It's definitely top 3 for sure. Just kind of depends on the day how I want to rank it. But I could easily see why somebody would put this higher. And you're not wrong, honestly. This top 3 we've got going on, um, it's a solid top 3 for sure. And the mid-course brake run, I don't feel like kills the momentum as much as it does on a lot of coasters. So that's a good point as well. But again, this is Nitro. And there's 2 coasters that I would say are better than Nitro at the park, though. At my number 2 spot, I have King Dakar, which should be the second fastest roller coaster in the world, but it is still the tallest. Um, oh my god, that launch is pretty intense. Like, it's crazy intense. A lot of people don't like the restraints. I get that. I feel like they need for over shoulder restraints, like, not really necessary, but they don't bother me. I mean, if that's the restraint system they have, it is what it is. They could do Top Thrill Dragster's restraint system, but they didn't for whatever reason, so that's the restraint we have. But it doesn't bother me personally. But just the intense rush of waiting for the launch, and then the launch happening, and then going over 400 feet in the air. Oh my gosh, it's exhilarating. It's one of those experiences that if you like coasters, you have to have. And the difference between this and Top Thrill Dragsters, there's actually an airtime hill after you come down, which is really nice, and I really like it. I don't find it rough at all. I think some people have said it's a little bit rough. I don't find that rough at all. And this roller coaster is just crazy. I absolutely love it. I mean, some people may not love it as much as me, but for me personally, I love it. It's definitely easily my second favorite coaster at Great Adventure. My number 1 spot is my definition of a perfect roller coaster, El Toro, and it's by far my favorite wooden roller coaster out there. And as you're starting to go up the hill here, it actually has a cable lift hill, which is really unique because it's usually chain lift hills. Um, but it definitely gets you up to the top of that lift hill faster. I love how there's a bull on front of the coaster. I think that definitely makes it unique. El Toro Bull. But this is the definition again of a perfect coaster. There's literally nothing wrong with this coaster. A couple people may say that, hey, it's rough in this spot or it's rough in this spot. Well, wooden roller coasters aren't meant to be glossy smooth. That kind of adds to their appeal, their intenseness. And I love this head chopper effect right there that you go through. I love the camelback hills. Um, Airtime's crazy on this thing. There's really nothing bad to say about this coaster. And that's a great thing to say about a coaster. I love the twister section towards the end. That's definitely my favorite part of the ride. And I love how they left a piece of Rolling Thunder under El Toro. Um, but again, it's my number 1 pick. Definitely a very well deserved number 1. Here's the twister section I love. But let me know what you think if you agree with me. And please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not already for more great content coming soon. Thank you so much for watching.